Welcome back to comics, to Hat Comics TV. I'm Berserk, the Deluxe Edition, number 2, Volume 2, by Kentaro Miura, the master mangaka. Previously on this Berserk book, we saw Gatsu killing demons, and his full-grown persona, the Dark Warrior, killing demons. And we meet Griffith for the first time on the other world. And this goes to the golden era. So this is the beginning of it. You see the youth of Guts, and you see horrible things that are about to happen to Guts. Guts gets betrayed by Gambino. That's his father figure. And from the previous chapter where you see Guts as a grown man with a missing arm, with like all these weapons, with a like battle scars, and you see him with as a grown man, even with gray hair, I think. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of his youth, and you find out that he's been under the tutelage of Gambino, one of the mercenaries, and he sells him for a bunch of gold, for a few gold coins, for these men to take to abuse Guts, because there's like child abuse on this, and horrible taboo things that I don't want to talk about because the algorithm of YouTube. And Guts takes his revenge against his character that abuses him, scars him physically and psychologically, and then later on he realizes that his father figure was the one that sold him out. Gambino comes back as a invalid. He's missing limbs from the battle, and now he is just a husk of what he was. Guts later on, after he gets told that he betrayed him and sold him out, takes his revenge. This is why Guts is so full blunt, violent, and does not take any crap from anybody, and stands on his own. See here, he's defeating this wolf, which is kind of an analogy for him surviving this dystopic, horrible world where it's man eat man, tooth for a tooth, an eye for an eye. And this is almost like a world building that Kentaro Miura did, almost as Robert E. Howard or George R. Martin that has done in Game of Thrones, where this is dark high fantasy where realistic plot lines and things that can happen to characters like that, what could happen to a human in the real world, and also in between that there's like the fantasy of the world. But that's what we're dealing with here, that you can get killed really easily, taking obviously historical tropes of medieval wars and whatnot, and that's what's being implemented on the narrative of this story. So this is quite cool. If that's your jam, if that's what you like, this is going to be right in your alley. This is just going to be something for you to be able to go in and just enjoy. Now, there's something to be said about the size of these books. Is that let's start with the production of the books. Just quickly, this is beautifully put together for the large quantity that they have produced for these books. This is excellent. They've done foiling, debossing on the cover. This is on faux leather. I mean, this is plastic, obviously, pretending to be leather. We got the foiling of the numbers. We got it on the spine, and on the back we got the sticker for Dark Horse. So the designers are Dark Horse. What a great production line of books they have put together for us, and all in black and white. Obviously, it's taking on the mangaka. On the manga edition. So we gotta read, from right to left. I hope that doesn't put anybody off. Anybody who likes to read comics or books in general. This is a good collection of books. I came late on this. All of these books are easily available right now, and I would recommend that if you were on the fence on this, try to see if you can get them. If not, you can also read them in any other way that you can, because the translations have been out there for quite a long time. This is like the work is beautiful, and at this stage, Kentaro Miura is sort of now applying more detail on top of everything else that he's doing. And I mean, it must be a mammoth task to be working and laboring on fantasy, and on top of that on armor design, and to make your characters look cool. That's a total level of other skill. I mean, he's doing mechanical designs that are functional for the armor of gods on this. And there's a little bit of wacky fantasy character design in this, like for example this fat knight. And I think some of these characters have been used have influenced other media, like video games. I know that Miyazaki from FromSoft, from the Souls series, has implemented a lot of these character designs onto his games, because I seen armor designs like this. And also you can get Guts armor on that game. The Bastard Sword that Guts is sort of like wielding, it's in Final Fantasy VII and in a bunch of other games. So this manga has been really influential for other creators, artists, and in other different medias. And this is what we're for here. The violence, it was awesome. But look at the artwork and the detail of this. It's amazing. Just absolutely outstanding detail. And I highly recommend this. This is an awesome collection. Now, I was hearing that somebody was mentioning to me that they had a European edition of this. I think in Spain or France, I don't know. They printed this, the manga. I don't know what scale it might have been, the tankobon, that had color pages, and these were the color pages. And Dark Horse omitted that into black and white, so this was in color. All those pages, like some manga does collect things in color, but on this, I guess they omitted that. It must be cost related, I'm not too sure. So I guess we got cheated on that somehow. But look, I'm not gonna complain. To see a comic book at this scale, it's awesome, especially for the length and the amount of material that we get. And this is around 700 pages, if I'm not incorrect. I dare to say we're on that sort of page count. Yeah, okay, so see, this is 600, so yes, easily we're on 700 page count for this collection. And for the majority of the books, they're all hefty books. I think the last one was the one that was a little bit thinner, but for obvious reasons. I already went through that, The End of an Era. That was the end book. I did not go over the story. I was just talking about that we lost Kentaro Miura, because we lost him, I think, last year, and such a loss, such a big loss for the comic book industry as well. Anyway, this is beautiful, and this is just covering on the youth of Guts, a young Guts, and then he comes across with the Phantom of the Opera. No, I'm joking. We come across with Griffith, young Griffith, Griffith is another T of a character because he's like, I guess, the devil. He's a very charming character that will try to seduce you, will try to charm you. And I don't understand the psychology with Japanese comics because this is prevalent on the psychology of a lot of Japanese material. I mean, I saw it on Metal Gear 2 for the first time, where Hideo Kojima was putting on task to Joji Shinkawa to create a pure looking character. And it became this androgynous character. That's what Raiden is. Raiden is a androgynous looking character. And that I've seen that in Street Fighter with Vega, another beautiful character, or a beautiful male character that is androgynous looking, but yet they got this masculinity, and in this case is a charming character, a seductor with men and women. And at the end you sort of realize that this character is also for himself. And he's already told us, Miura tells us on the very first volume of this series, that he's the big bad, he's the bad guy, he's the antagonizer, the interloper of the series, he's the antagonist. But the thing that is baffling to me, that I cannot understand, is that why they have to make this character so androgynous. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have an issue. See, here is Guts having bad dreams. And I just don't understand the nature of why the depiction of a character like this, especially being the bad guy, being such a androgynous looking character. And this goes across a lot of material that happens in Japanese material that doesn't happen in the West. Because I cannot recall one character like that on American comics or even European comics to have a character like this. If anything, in European comics, the characters are generally ugly looking. From what I can recall, I cannot not recognize that you're going to see a bad guy being a pretty androgynous looking character. That I know. I got a friend, and she was just going through this when I first bought these books, and she was sort of saying, "Is that a girl?" And I go, "No, that's a dude." And she was like, "Are you sure?" So, yes. So that is quite the thing. I mean, Mospeda had it. I think the first time I did come across with that was Mospeda, the animated series that was on the Macros on the day. Robotech, and we had that. I can't remember the name of the character, but he was just like a beautiful dude that was cross-dressing, and yeah. Anyway, that's very interesting to say the least. If you are aware of what I'm talking about, or if you have paid attention like I have, it would be interesting to have a discussion about this, because I'm always open for a discussion of this sort of thing, especially when it comes down to manga or comics in general. See, showing how tough Guts is. He just bites, doesn't care, bites the sore. He fights Griffith toe to toe because he shows how tough he is. And also Griffith shows how tough he is on this. But him being a demon, Guts not being a demon, it's quite interesting. The dynamic. Now you belong to me. See, there is all this double entendre all the time with Griffith. And to say another thing, it's a charming character. You grow to like him, even though that that he's gonna become the big bad because he's already been he's shown to be that bad guy at the end. Anyway, look at this. Beautiful panels. So well elaborate. And what a task. I mean, he has to have assistants. I mean, you just don't do this. I mean, it would have taken him. I mean, I know that he sacrificed himself for the deadline. This dude lived and breathed the deadline for the comic. And I mean, he's no longer with us. So maybe that's a sacrifice to create great works like this as well. Yeah. So that's the king's egg. And that's another antagonist, another big bad guy. The Nosferatu, Sod. Every time I think of Sod, I think of Sod from Superman 1979. Anyway, I don't want to spoil this. I want people to read. I just want to whet your appetite and look at this beautiful body of work. It feels like he's the first video game bad guy boss of this story. Oh my god, it's so awesome. With panels like this, how can you say no to this? This is outstanding. And this is the transformation, the big reveal. That's the only one that kind of nicks saw this entity. Beautiful stuff. Anyway, there it is. I just want to introduce everybody into this series. I mean, look at these panels. I mean, look at that spread. I just missed it. Look at that. That's outstanding. Just outstanding works. Anyway, let's not go over what's gonna happen next because other events, chain of events happen, and Griffith is using his charm to charm a very young girl that's the princess of this other kingdom, because this is a feudal society where kingdoms and wars are constantly happening. A kingdom wants to go over another kingdom, take over another kingdom, and medieval war with medieval knights and all of that, type of warfare happens on that. So highly recommend Berserk Deluxe, Deluxe edition number 2. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe and all those good things. Till next time, take care. Bye bye.